fact, quickly address some more breaking news coming in now. EU chief has proposed sanctions on Iran after a horrifying rise in casualties. Ursula von der Leyen has condemned the excessive use of force and said to add further sanctions on those responsible for this repression. EU chief has further said the European Union has already listed the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in its entirety under its human rights sanctions regime. Major General Gigi Dwivedi, Strategic Affairs Analyst, is with us live. A statement coming in from the EU chief as well now. What do you make of these sanctions that are being proposed by the EU? Major General Dwivedi.
Well, Uday, firstly, we need to go a little bit into the current protests that have possibly been quelled for time being, because this is the third time that the protests have, in Iran, they have taken place. Last one was 2019 and 2022. This time the protests have been of very intense nature, and the casualties, though exact figures can't be stated, but definitely the casualties have been very high, and casualties have been on both sides of the protesters as well as for the security forces. So while I think the current regime may have won the battle, but it stands considerably weakened, and I don't think that it has come out very clearly a winner in this situation. And to that extent, now what are the external forces that are at play? Of course, America has a very keen and personal interest in this, because they see current regime as one of the hostile regime as far as the American interests are concerned, and off and on they have been voices raised that death to America, death to Israel. So that shows the kind of intensity animosity. Now, second point is the tariffs per se. Well, America has used tariff as a weapon, and especially President Trump, he has a penchant for tariffs, and 25% more tariffs means that it is going to further impinge upon the I would say economy of Iran, because that as it is in dire state from the fact that today the inflation is about over 45%, and their currency has absolutely in the free fall, almost $1 equated to something like 1.5 million rials. So these sanctions are going to have deeper impact on the Iranian economy, and currently the protest started on the economic issues, and then later on they made a transition against the regime. So I think overall what I see or what I read is that Iranian regime definitely stand weakened. There are high possibility of external powers, especially America, Israel, right now dipping into this whole situation so that they can take a better of the weakened regime. And the third very important issue is that Middle East per se is undergoing a lot of geopolitical churning, and at this time, if the Iranian regime crumbles, then there's going to be a lot of turbulence, whether Shah of Iran's son comes in or whether the new government comes in. But the point is, I would say this is a temporary pause. The issue has not been resolved, and while Iranian regime might have got the better of the protesters, but the point is that their violence is still out there, and the situation can anytime go out of control sooner or later.
Yes.